Chapter 44. I hit play as Kate's feet disappeared into the hole. I didn't take it to heart, as May doesn't know anyone who has ventured into the deep. It was damp, and my shoulders touched both sides of the tunnel. My forehead scraped the top if I raised it too high. Things caught in my hair and dropped on my face. I tried to block out everything but Coop's voice. I have enough food for several weeks if I'm conservative, mostly canned tuna. Water isn't a problem. There is water everywhere below, and I have a filter. I guess my biggest worry is not being able to find my way back. It's easy to get disoriented down here. I have white chalk to mark where I've been, which should help. I have 3 flashlights, a handheld, and 2 headlamps. Plenty of batteries. My eyes have adjusted to the dark over the years, but to acclimate them even further, I've been wearing shades on top the past several months, even at night. I'm not sure if this has helped. What I've found is that sight is not nearly as important as touch, feel, smell, and hearing in the dark. Community members all use flashlights and headlamps, but Taps told me that the people of the deep, or the pod as they're known, don't use artificial light at all. Yes, they do, I thought. Coop probably knows this by now, and a lot more about the pod, more than he wanted to know. What I knew was that hearing his voice was working. Not 100%, but I was squirming forward, bumping into Kate's boots, and I hadn't gone catatonic. Yet. Taps drew me a rough map of the underground, at least the places he's been, from what he could remember. He's been beneath longer than anyone in the community. Or the pod, so he says. When he was young, he would go on walkabouts, with no destination in mind. Like them Aborigine dudes from down under. He was gone for more than a month one time and never backtracked or saw the same thing twice. Thought I might run into the Aborigines, he said. Crazy, I knows, but stranger things have happened. Beneath is not a place, it's a country where the sun don't shine and the birds don't sing. I calls it Echo Land because all you hear is yourself and the past caving in on itself. At the end of the second week, I ran into one of these cave-ins. Note to Pat. Meatloaf, you'll be happy to know that I bought a watch. Digital, cheap, but it has a lot of buttons and whistles and alarms. On top, time means everything. Beneath, it means nothing. When it mattered, I didn't have one. Now that it doesn't matter, I have one. Go figure. I actually bought it to determine where I am in the dark, or at least how far I've gone. I tested it above. It takes me about 20 minutes to walk a mile. Down here it probably takes a little longer because I have to climb over rubble and squeeze through openings, and of course it's dark down here. With this digital tape recorder and watch, I've turned into a real geek. When I hit the cave-in, I thought my walkabout was over. Half my tuna was gone, and I thought it might be time to head back to the community. The bad news was that for the first time in my life, I was sick of eating tuna. The good news was, every time I gagged down a can, the load in my pack got lighter. I followed the impassable concrete, bricks, wood, dirt wall for 2 days, climbing into every nook and cranny, only to find them dead-ending after a few feet. I began to wonder if Taps had steered me in the wrong direction. He and May and Posty ganged up on me before I left, trying one more time to stop me from leaving. They said that a walkabout wasn't safe anymore because of the pod. Posty even offered to give me money to go back home, or if I didn't want to do that, he said he could get me a job at the library. Apparently he knows someone who works there. I turned him down. What they don't understand is that I have to do this. I have been heading this direction all my life. I'm not looking for the pod specifically, but if I bump into one of them, I'm going to make contact. When I was with the community, I abided by their rules. Under no circumstances are you to initiate contact with members of the pod. This was a little frustrating for me when I saw a pod member lurking in the shadows as I made food and supply drops with Posty and Taps. I'm on my own now. The rules don't apply. But I haven't seen a sign of the pod. Coming and going as they do, you'd think it would be easy to find them, but they cover their tracks well. Just like the community. Well, better than the community. I decided to spend one more day or night, there really is no day down here, looking for an opening, and that's when I discovered the fake chunk of concrete. It looked just like the other chunks, but it was made out of fiberglass, and there was a handle on it. I almost wept when I found it. I'm serious. A wave of relief and exhaustion overcame me. I slumped to the ground. This is it. As soon as I recover, I'm going through. The tunnel, or entryway, is about 100 feet long, man-made, well used. On the opposite end are a set of rickety wooden steps. At the bottom is a river, not a stream, an actual river with flowing water, maybe 40 or 50 feet across. I can't see the other side with my flashlight. There's a dock with a large storage cabinet. Inside are old clothes, coveralls, coats, hats, ratty looking with holes and a sour smell, and wigs and fake beards. Apparently, the people of the deep, or whoever the clothes and fake hair belongs to, disguise themselves. Why? And there's a boat tied to the dock. I'd like to report that the boat has been hollowed out with primitive tools by an ancient civilization, but it's made out of fiberglass. There are cushions on the seats. Mounted on the front is a searchlight. On the back is a battery-operated motor. Lying on the bottom is a fishing pole and a tackle box. Underground fish? Folded neatly on the benches are fresh clothes, clean clothes. The pod must change into the dirty clothes when they go up top. I'm looking at the map. There's nothing about an underground river. If Tafts knew about the river, it would be on his map. He either didn't make it this far on his walkabout, lied about what he found, or I've gotten turned around and I'm lost. Do I take the boat? If I take it, do I go down or upriver? Do I strand the person who brought the boat, or do I wait here for the person to show up? Stealing their boat is probably not the best introduction to the pod. I'll wait. I'll go fishing. I caught a fish, but it cost me. I used the lure already tied to the line and threw it into the middle of the river and immediately felt a sharp tug. I jerked the pole up and the line started playing out. I cranked the reel as fast as I could and landed the flopping 2-pound fish on the dock. I'm not sure what kind of fish it was. Silver? Angry. I didn't expect to catch a fish and had no way to cook it on the wooden dock. I let it go, which turned out to be more difficult than catching it. I got stabbed several times by its spiny fins and managed to embed the treble hook in my palm. So much for my first fishing experience. But at least there's protein down here if I need it. I'm thinking again about borrowing the boat, but I don't because there's an unspoken law beneath. Don't mess with people's things. Still, I'm going to break this law. A little. I take, some fishing line and a couple of small rusty lures. If food becomes a problem, I can eat a fish, and I hope it tastes different than tuna. I'll wait. If the boat owner doesn't show up, I'll go above and get my own boat, an inflatable, maybe even a fishing pole. No wonder the pod haven't been found. No one else has boats beneath. I just slept for 6 hours. I'm rested. My head is a little clearer, hungry. My hand hurts where the fish spines and hook jabbed me. The boat is still tied to the dock. I hate to backtrack and go up to top to find a boat of all things. That could take me weeks. But I don't have a choice. I can't steal their boat, and I can't sit on the dock indefinitely. Even if someone shows up, there's a good chance they won't take me with them, and it might not be a good idea to let them know that I've discovered their entrance. "It gets a little tight up here," Kate said. I paused the recorder. If it got any tighter, I would have to tear my shoulders off to get through. "You okay?" "Yeah," I lied, and something fell into my mouth. I gagged it out, trying very hard not to think about what it was. "What happened?" "Nothing. Let's keep moving." I switched the recorder back on. Coop was out of breath. I was on my way back up the stairs and caught something out of the corner of my eye. A ledge, carved into the rock on the right-hand side, 20 feet above the river. It was a stretch to get to it and narrow. I clung to the damp wall, inched my way along in the pitch dark, and my headlamp didn't do me any good with my face smashed against the rough wall. The only thing that kept me going was knowing that if I fell, I would land in the river. I might survive. And after a while, the ledge got wider. I found a steel cable bolted into the rock that allowed me to move faster. The cable led me to a 3-foot-wide path with a sturdy rail along the riverside. And this is where I'm standing right now. The river is far below. I can hear it, but I can't see it. The path is an incredible feat of engineering. If it's the work of the pod, it had to take them years to complete. Hanging on the wall with chisels and picks, or maybe jackhammers? Who knows what they have, or how advanced they... There's a light coming upriver. The boat. I just switched off my headlamp, and I'm watching the boat's searchlight swing back and forth across the water. I can't see how many people are aboard, and they can't see me. I guess I'm heading in the right direction. I don't know where I'm going, but I've been headed there all my life.